Maestro Hamilton said, like, you don't fight the demons, like you love the demons and thank them. And because otherwise you'll fight them perpetually. Like you'll never win that fight. That's what they're built for.
Yeah.
You know, they got all the time. They're in the timeless dimension. They got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Eternity. They can bother you for eternity.
So, but and in the experiences, I had a deep, heavy ayahuasca encounter with a huge demon. It looked like a world crusher. It was breaking worlds apart, which very much sounds like what they do. They divide. It was pulling things apart, and it was really fucking with me. And finally, like, the resolution was I went up to him, this giant demonic being, and I kissed him on the forehead, and his eyes went like emoji heart eyes.
Yeah.
And that was like the resolution. And in dreams, I've had the same thing. I had a dream where I went into this house. I was like Van Helsing with all these witch hunters, and we were slaying these demons. And there was the main demon that I was supposed to slay. And I cut him up into a bunch of pieces, and I threw his body into a fire, and the fire was going, but I knew it wasn't right. And I knew that it wasn't going to work. And I was stabbing it in the, it was a very violent dream. I was stabbing it in the eyes. I was like trying to cut it into smaller pieces, but it reformed, and it reformed into this neon glowing being that I couldn't touch with my sword. And I was like swirling, and it was upside down. I didn't know right from left. I was lost in this thing. And I like fought my way through through great like pain and difficulty, and found my way and just embraced him with the most loving hug. And then it just burst. Yeah. And it burst, and there was this like loving, this like being. It was just like, whoa. You know, and just that feeling of love, like you're doing good, like I love you. Yeah. And that it ended the whole thing. And that was the resolution. So what you're saying is something that I've, you know, felt and learned. And again, this is going back to the beginning. This is why when I was listening to you and it was like, yeah, this guy remembers his past lives, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I listened to what you're saying, and I was like, fuck, I know this is true. You know,
past lives is just one thing.
right. Yeah, it was your higher self who came in.
We can try to take away all the ideas of emotions that we project from religions, from culture, from our family, from our biological point of view, and start to see it in a very neutral way, in which there is no God, there is nothing, and all that is there is creation, and that the perfection of all this is simply that it is.
And no God and only God are the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
The word God, it was meant to be something that described the light, Gush, and for the Spanish is Zeus, the god of light. The origin of the word God comes from the only one word in one ancient language that was Jiheh. And Jiheh means day. So the ancient people said Jiheh or Jiheu. It's the day. And during the day you can see. So whenever there is the sun, you can see, and you are protected because you know the horizon, you know where to go, all that. So it's good. The skies are good because the sun gives us light. So everyone was following the light, was following Jiheh, that became God and Dios in Spanish. So, but they were following light. They were not following any God. They were following just what exists, what you can see. And there was the opposite of it, which was the night. And so they call it in a different way. And they had these two balanced things that tells you during the day you can see, you can hunt, you can eat. During the night, the animals can eat you, you cannot see, so you have to take care. So during the day you're brave, during the night you're scared. And that in our biology, in our cells, got stuck as the good and the evil. And we create all this idea of good and evil that nature doesn't have. because you see nature and they don't have. Because if you think that evil is the one that kills, you shouldn't have cats.
Right.
Or you would hate lions or
Right.
stuff like that, because they kill. But otherwise, no, it's nature. So why we accept that that's nature and we don't accept that we are creating something that doesn't exist as good and bad as a system in the universe? It's not that it doesn't exist as practical things. I mean, as a structural thing. As a structural thing, it doesn't exist.
Maybe is it the same archangels that are that you would call the demons that are working to distort?
No,
and
the
cloud
demons
the
are
mind?
in the fourth dimension.
The demons are in the fourth
The
dimension.
demons are equally lost like we are.
So the demons don't know. The demons don't know what they're doing. So they're doing their job
No,
without
they're like
knowing.
dogs taking care of a house.
Yeah.
Sorry for the demons.
But in the sixth dimension, it's all the archangels. They all know.
Yeah.
They all know exactly what they're doing. But the fourth dimension are beings that don't know what they're doing. They're lost,
Yeah.
and they're contributing to us being lost because they're lost, and they think that they're doing the right thing, but
Of
they
course,
don't know.
if we describe this as a house, as I said, the archangel would be like the lord of the house, the one that is the owner of the house and decides how to build the house, is the architect. So he says, I want this here, I will put this here and that. Then has the housekeeping. Housekeeping is from the fifth dimension. Is the lady or the man that knows where everything is, that knows how to take care and clean everything. So, and is the one that advises, we would need to change this to this so it worked better. So
Yeah.
that would be the fifth dimension. Then you have the fourth dimension, which is the dogs that takes care, the cats that eat the mice. You know, so
Or rip up a couch,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So dogs and cats in a house, they act by feeling, and sometimes they do bad things, but not because they want to do bad things, but because they think that what they are doing is okay. That's how demons act. Like, oh, look, that's a shitty people, so let's put some shit there. So
So they're acting.
That's-
They're acting with resonance with.
exactly.
They're finding resonance with, and that's I think an important thing that people get very afraid in the spiritual work. They get very afraid of the demons, very afraid of these dark energies.
Yeah.
But they're not going to bother you if you don't have resonance with their energy. It's like they're not gonna possess you like in a movie. Like you're all of a sudden you're this really pure, good person, pure being, and all of a sudden a demon possesses you.
Look, the universe is all about frequencies. So imagine that every reality and every being is like a radio station. So you can tune yourself in the frequency that you want to hear. If you don't like some messages of someone that is constantly talking about bad things, so you just change the radio, and that's it. So, but in order to do that, you have to tune yourself into a new frequency, so you can hear new messages. But if you are always listening to the same radio station and you complain about what you hear, so demons are going to control your life because you are allowing them to control your life. Demons are not bad people. They are just doing what they are supposed to do, which is
Bad
distort.
entities. Yeah.
They are distorting everything. And their job is to distort light so we can have things.
Yeah. Delusion.
Exactly. If you are in the path of putting the things together, demons will be against you, but not against you because you're in the opposite side, but because you have something that they are supposed to divide. You know, it's like telling the DNA inside of your cells, I'm going to the unity, don't divide. It's impossible because they are meant to divide. So the demons are doing that. They create division because they were made to do so. They were meant to do that mission. So when someone starts to unify things, for the demons it's like, hey, what are you doing? You are ruining my job. You know, and the other one said, no, but we have to go all together again. Why? You know, they won't agree because they don't understand. So
And that tension is part of creation, right? It's just part of everything.
Yeah, of course. There's no... the earth wouldn't spin if there is no polarity.
Yeah.
So this polarity of division and unity must exist in order to create life. There's no life without division. So the job that they have is to divide. As for the people that works in the consciousness, is to unify.
Yeah.
And but when it happened to me when I understood that, when I remembered that, I just start to thank every demon for what they were doing, and suddenly they stop fighting because they said, "Oh, so I'm doing fine," because I say, I will keep doing this here, unifying these things, but thank you for all your job of dividing it, because now I know what I have to unite.